Sports Talk is brought to you by Lincoln Savings Bank. At home in Iowa, at work for you.
The UNI football team lost the Missouri Valley Football Conference battle to South Dakota 34-21, and the schedule continues to be tough. Another top 25 opponent, in fact, a top 10 opponent coming up this week as the South Dakota State Jackrabbits will host the UNI Panthers in another big Missouri Valley Football Conference matchup. Coach, this past Saturday in the Dome, South Dakota really took advantage of some first half miscues to build a big lead, 24-0 at halftime, but something you've preached, you can't have bad special teams, can't have any fumbles or interceptions.
Right, we had the special teams there, and then we had the turnover back-to-back, and they created the 14 points, and that kind of put you behind the 8 ball.
Talk about how the guys kind of came together at halftime. What was the mentality? Because it seemed like that third quarter they came out, played with a new fire.
Well, we got into our rhythm in the second half, and that's we just had to recalibrate things at halftime, get back into our game, get back to execution, and we did that starting the third quarter.
How did you evaluate the defense over the course of the day? The first half, South Dakota put points up, very short fields, drives of less than 25 yards on 3 of their 4 scoring drives. What did you see from them? Their longest drive they allowed all game, just 42 yards.
Yeah, but that was, I still go back to, the expectation, the standard of our defense, and allowing them both touchdowns on those 2 occasions, even though it was a short field. We should have got off the field on one of them at least with a field goal. And then the drive in the second half, when we had things going on, they did drive the field, that 42-yard drive, and that was the drive we needed to stop. So it's kind of the timeliness of their execution. One
of those first half turnovers, Isaiah Weston made a big catch, got hit real hard, fumbled the football. South Dakota returned it a long ways, but Isaiah is just one of those leaders. Almost seemed like it just took the wind out of the team, because he's a guy that's battled through some injuries in his carear.
Well, it is. He's a high caliber player for a football team. Does a tremendous job for us, and he took a pretty good hit on that play, and I actually thought that was going to take us down to get our first touchdown and go in at halftime in pretty good shape, but yet it was a caused fumble, and it ruled that way, so it ended up being the same yard line on the other end of the field.
Third quarter, your UNI Panthers really responded. Vance McShane, his first touch of the game, goes for a 62-yard touchdown and a real quick score to start the second half, had that Unidome re-energized.
Well, we had 2 quick scores. Both of them came back-to-back. We got 14 points in about 4 minutes, and so we got back in the game very quickly at the start of the second half.
The running game really started to get going that third quarter and provided a little more balance.
It did, and then after that 42-yard drive as you spoke of, that kind of changed the demeanor of the game again because of the clock left in the game. It added that possession, and we couldn't stay on the ground. Then we had to alter and get back to trying to get back into a 2-minute offense to start making plays because that clock became a problem.
You had Sam Schnee, Sergio Morency with receiving touchdowns in that football game as Theo Day threw for over 300 yards. Was it good to see a couple receivers step up after Weston went out with that injury?
Exactly, and 2 young players, you probably don't say you're going to count on going into the game, even though you count on them every day. But they were 2 big plays by those 2 young men that did a great job.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about the UNI football team looking ahead to that South Dakota State matchup. We'll take a look at a couple defensive players as well. It's all coming up right here on Panther Sports Talk.